Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Epically Late here, and welcome back to another video. Now, in today's video, I know I'm late to this topic because I think it's been out for, well, September 17th, so I'm a bit late, but we're going to be talking about all the new Pokemon that are going to be returning in the Crown Tundra that have been data mined, and all the moves that these returning Pokemon are going to get, and how they're going to affect VGC 2021. Because remember, VGC 2021, you are allowed to use restricted Pokemon, so that is going to affect how, or not restricted, you are allowed to use legendary Pokemon, meaning probably the Taboos, meaning probably Landorus, stuff like that. So we are going to talk about some of the returning Pokemon, how they're going to impact the game. We're going to look at some of the new Pokemon. Before we get into this video, we are at 79 subscribers, so if I could get 8 subscribers in this video, that would be freaking fantastic. You guys have been coming up with the videos as of late. I really appreciate it. But let's get straight into the video. So we're going to break this up into parts. We're going to look at all the new Pokemon returning. I'm just going to kind of give my thoughts on if they're going to be good or not, how they're going to impact the meta, what mons might they replace, just because they might be better. We're just gonna talk about like how they will impact the meta. I gotta hold on. All right, now we're good. Now that I lower my chair, we're good. So we're gonna talk about how these mons impacted the meta. Okay, so I don't know what. Okay, we're gonna talk about how these mons will impact the meta. Then we're going to talk about all the new moves that are going to be added and whether those moves will come into play or not, and whether those moves actually really matter. Alright, so first we have the new Pokemon forms. Or no, we're going to go with the new Pokemon here. And so we're going to look at Regieleki. Now, Regieleki, it's... I don't think Reggies are going to be good in VGC. We see here that, hold on, Reggie Steele. Reggie Steele has a base stat total of 580, so they're probably just gonna switch some of the stats around. Have you seen Regirock, Reggie Steele, or Regice used in VGC before? I mean, I've seen Regice used in VGC before, but the guy was so low on the ladder. It was bad. So no, you haven't. And in high play, I've never seen them. And maybe they get wide guard, but they're just not going to be good. I mean, even if they get a trapping move, I still don't think Regieleki is going to be good. Or Regidrago. Presume boost for dragon attacks on sight. So Dragon's Maul. Okay, so it gets a boost to its dragon attacks. But here's the thing. I just don't think... Oh, it's the dragon type water spout. But here's the thing with Regidrago, you're going to be running this thing under Trick Room. Maybe you could go for Dragon Energy, since Dragon Energy sees a dragon type attack with base power based on the HP remaining. It's a water spout. But all the Reggies are absurdly slow. I just got notifications from Blunder. All the Reggies are absurdly slow. So here's the thing with that. I mean, you're going to have to use Trick Room. Calyrex, we don't know really anything about Calyrex. We're going to look at new Pokemon forms. These Pokemon I might cover in a separate video, but I won't cover these in a separate video. Articuno Galar is, I think, is going to see play because Landorus Therian is going to be all over the place, or it's going to be pretty popular, right? And Intimidate's going to be pretty good. You're going to see lots of Incineroar, you're going to see lots of Landorus. I feel like Articuno is going to do well. Although Articuno does still lose to Incineroar, you can maybe tech like a fighting move on there, or even just like some special attack investment, a +2 something is going to do quite a bit of damage. Alright, and then we see Maltros, and Maltros is Dark Flying. I don't think I thought it was Dark Fire. Okay, that's interesting. Dark Flying for Maltros, I don't know. I just don't think it will be as good. I think it will be the worst of the birds. I mean, normally it is in VGC, Articuno is only the worst of the birds. Moltres is kind of in the middle, like, it's not that good in VGC, it's really never been, and given it a dark typing, it does allow it to be immune to something like Lele. Excuse me. Lele's psychic type moves, but yet again, if you look at Moltres, I mean, I don't know how they're going to change the base stat total around. But if we look at Moltres here, Moltres has base only 85 Spadef. Only 85 Spadef. Only. So, it's still going to be taking a buttload of damage from pretty much all the Taboos. which Taboos are coming back, so I don't think Maltra will be good. We're gonna skip over Slowbro. Actually, we're gonna talk about Slowbro for a bit. It's gonna be it's not gonna be good. I think people are too excited for this. It's not going to be good. Sure, it resets ally stat changes, but that's kind of niche. That's niche in certain scenarios. And if you're running the Pokemon based upon that ability alone, it's not worth it. I don't think. Well, it's too weak. It's too weak to a lot of VGC mods. Poison, you're taking neutral, even though it's poison psychic, you're still taking neutral damage from psychic type moves. And I know Slowking has good Spadaf, but expanding force is going to hurt. Think about it this way: dark types and ghost types, some of the most common trick room breakers in the metagame, hit this thing for super effective damage. And considering those two types are mostly physical, and looking at Slowking and seeing that Slowking has only 80 base defense, I don't know. I don't think this thing's going to be good. Now, do we know Slowking's base stat total and Slowking Gallery's base stat total? No. But I'm assuming Slowking's still going to be more of a Spadaf, especially defensive, because if it were to be physically defensive, it would be more like a Slowbro. You know, that's the reason Slowbro and Slowking are different. All right, final Pokemon Zapdos. I think Zapdos will be used a little bit. Because it gets fighting and flying, and it gets, I think you might get high jump kick. It's going to be a good counter to Incineroar. Also, it can use it probably will use max airstream, and it might even get tail end. So I can see Zapdos being pretty good here. I wouldn't say it's a counter to Landorus directly. It depends on its moves, but you know, I think it'll be good. We're gonna look at the returning Pokemon here. I wanna move on. So, returning Ubers, we're not going to talk about Uber Pokemon. We're not going to talk about the, like, box art legendaries, just because you won't see those in VGC 2021, most likely, but we are going to talk about some of the Pokemon. Blaziken, we're going to talk about Blaziken here. Now, actually, we're going to talk about Blaziken and the moves it gets. So, just because I think combining them will give me a better idea what this Pokemon gets. So, Blaziken gets, Assurance, Revenge, U-Turn. It gets U-Turn and Close Combat this gen. So, Blaziken also gets the hidden ability Speed Boost. Basically, this Pokemon's speed stat is raised one stage after each turn. So it's good. It's a good protector. It can baton pass. But if you look at this thing's stats, it's just too frail. It's got 80 in HP and then 70. It's not fast enough. And here's the thing about Blaziken: Protect is very obvious. Protect's obvious. So if Blaziken's, turn 1, Blaziken's probably just going to want to Protect to get its speed boost, right? So you can easily just work around that. You can easily work around Blaziken. Also, 120 isn't that strong. Okay, well, IVs are 0, but 120 isn't honestly that strong. I mean, it's strong, but it's not insanely strong. It's not going to be hitting for crazy amounts of damage. And yes, it gets close combat. Yes, it gets that. But, you know, here's the thing. We have Tapu Koko. That dumpsters this thing. We have Tapu Lele. That dumpsters this thing. We have Landorus. Landorus dumpsters this thing. Like, some of the most common Pokemon. And even Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini's coming back. That's going to dumpster this thing. You know what I mean? I just don't think Blaziken is going to be good. And you can say, it's a Cortana check. Okay. That's pretty much how good it is. It's a Cortana check. I don't think Blaziken's going to be good. I don't think it is. Also, it's prone to Intimidate, and you're not running Special. Special Blaziken's bad. It has mediocre speed. Yeah, it has a good ability, but that ability, if you're not a total noob, you can easily predict when it's going to Protect. I mean, I played against Quentin Collin at Philadelphia Regionals in 2019, and this was granted this was when I was a senior. But all he did with Blaziken is protect it, and every single time he protected the Blaziken, I just didn't target the Blaziken. So his Blaziken ended up being completely worthless because I just targeted his other Pokemon. And then eventually I, had it down to his Blaziken and Yveltal, and then I finally just KO'd his Blaziken and then KO'd the Yveltal. Like, I just don't think Blaziken's gonna be good. Alright, so we're gonna move on. Landorus. Landorus is going to be insanely good. Landorus is going to be insanely good. Landorus is going to be pretty good. I wouldn't say insanely good. It's not going to be like VGC 19 in Incineroar, but it's going to be good. Obviously, this gen, it actually gets it gets Weather Ball and Endure. So actually, nothing really good. Actually, no, it doesn't get anything good. Landorus, items, you're going to be seeing some Band. You're going to be seeing some AV. You're going to be seeing some Life Orb. And some Scarf Landorus is what I'm going to say. I think you're obviously going to run. Here are the moves you're going to run. You're going to run Earthquake, You're probably gonna run Fly. You're probably gonna run like Rock Slide, slash Swords Dance, and Protect. Because you can't run hidden power moves anymore. It's going to be really good. You're going to have a counter to it on every team. Now, here's the thing about Landorus. It's not like it has decent bulk, but it's not insanely bulky, and you're probably going to be going like 252, 252 anyway, unless you're like an AV set or some very sophisticated EV and you like do very sophisticated EVs. So Landorus is very hard with Earthquake, and Max Landorus is going to be pretty good because it basically has 3 Z flying, which is really good, and it can go for a Max Quake as well. It's going to be pretty good. Do I think it's going to be amazing? No, because here's why. Because everyone expects Landorus to be so good. People are gonna tech moves on Pokemon. I mean, Cresselia is coming back. What do you think Cresselia is gonna run? Cresselia is gonna run Ice Beam. Porygon 2 is coming back. I mean, Porygon 2 already runs Ice Beam, but Porygon 2 is going to run Ice Beam now. It's going to be counterable. Also, you're going to see competitive Pokemon start to pop up. I mean, I could see Milotic being pretty good, because think about it, we now have Incineroar and Landorus here, so I think Milotic could be pretty good, a nice way to counter Landorus, because like, look, Incineroar is going to be very good, excuse me, and Landorus is going to be very good. So with the 2 of those, it's just going to be incredible, right? But Landorus, here's the thing with Landorus. Because people are so scared about it returning, people are just going to constantly tech for Landorus. And it's one of those Pokemon where everyone knows what it does, right? And it can still do what it does well. It also gets U-turn. Oh, I forgot about that. It gets U-turn, so it can U-turn now, go for those Intimidates, recycle those Intimidates. It's going to be good, don't get me wrong, but do I think it's going to be absolutely amazing? No. I think it's going to do I think it's going to do exactly the same thing it did in past years, other than Max. It can Max, right? And like a Max Landorus with Life Orb, trust me, that's going to be scary. But there are going to be ways around it. I mean, maybe just running Trick Room and then a random Ice Beam is just a way to counter it. Running like Will-O-Wisp, Intimidate, stuff like that. I don't think Landorus is uncounterable, let's put it that way. Alright, next Pokemon is Naganadel. Or we should talk about Landorus there, or just Landorus. I'm gonna get rid of all these mons, and we're just going to use this to talk about every Pokemon today. Alright, just base Landorus. Is it going to be as good? No. Yes, it gets Sheer Force and it gets Life Orb, and it's going to hit hard, but it's not going to be as good. You're going to see some of this, but you're not going to see much of it. I mean, 1-on-1 speed is very good, but you're not going to see as much of it, just because Landorus with Intimidate is just so much better. But I think still have to respect Sheer Force Life Orb. Sheer Force Life Orb is still going to be very good, and you can run, well, you can run Earth Power, you can run, I don't know, Flying, does it get Air Slash? I don't think it does, but okay, yeah, okay, never mind. But you can run Earth Power, Sludge Wave, stuff like that. Grass Knot, you know, it gets Calm Mind, so you do have to be worried about Landorus, so I don't think it's going to be good. Landorus T is the thing that you have to worry about, but yet again, I think Landorus T is not going to be much of an issue, just because Taboos are all over the place. Also Cortana. Cortana's a good check to Landorus. It sounds weird, because Cortana is, you know, it will get intimidated, but Cortana's not taking much damage from Landorus' attacks. Next Pokemon we have to talk about, Naganadel. I don't know about this one. I don't know if it'll be good or not. Now, if it still gets Tailwind, I think it has a niche, and it is a poison typing. It is a poison typing, which is very good, and it's pretty much faster than all of the dragons that we're getting back. Yeah, I think it's faster than all of the dragon type Pokemon we're getting back. It's faster than Salamence, it's faster than Garchomp, so it could have a niche there, and it has really good special attack stats, so it can take advantage of that. It's normally a Sash, 2 attack, Tailwind, Protect mon. So most of the time you're running Dual Stab, you're running Tailwind and Protect, and if you want to be a techie, you can run a Flamethrower for something like a Ferrothorn, or even a Cortana. So honestly, and if we look at Cortana, base 109, base 121. So you're outspeeding Cortana, so you can pop a Flamethrower off, So I think Naganadel will see play. I just think it'll be pretty niche. But I think it will see play and it will see success. But it's going to be a niche mon. That's my take on it. It's going to be better in singles because it got Toxic Spikes and Spikes. Dragon Dance doesn't matter to this thing at all. You're not using Dragon Dance at all. Make its Dwayne Beat doesn't matter. 73. Like, give it special moves, not physical moves. Like, they give it Giga Impact, they give it Assurance, they give it Cross Poison, and they give it Breaking Swipe. Okay, Breaking Swipe's neat because then maybe you could run a supportive Naganadel, but yet again, this thing's frail, so you want to run more of an offensive one. But give it some, like, good moves. Like, honestly, give this thing, like, Thunderbolt or something. Oh, I already guessed that. Okay, give it Ice Beam. Doesn't get that. I don't know. Just give it some fun moves. Give it, like, Energy Ball. I don't freaking know. Just give it fun moves. Just give it fun moves. I think Naganadel will be a good Pokemon. It's going to be good. It's going to be good against Togekiss. It's going to be weak against Dragapult. But if the Taboos, it's good against all the Taboos. Although Lele is going to be Scarf a lot of the time, so you will have to watch out for that. But if Lele doesn't max, you might be able to one-shot it with a Sludge Bomb, or get very close to one-shotting it with a Sludge Bomb. But you do have to be careful because your Sash will be procced by like an Expanding Force. But honestly, I think Naganadel does have its niche because it's going to be good against all the Taboos, and you can tech Flamethrower to deal with something like Cortana or Ferrothorn, which Cortana and Ferrothorn are going to see play because of the Taboos. Also, Cortana is Cortana, so it's going to see play regardless. But I think Naganadel actually can be pretty good, and I might build a team around it. Next one, we're going to talk about Pheromosa. This thing is going to be freaking scary. Look at it. Look at its attacks. 137, 137, 151. 151 makes it outspeed Dragapult. So pretty much, I think this is the fastest Pokemon coming back. So you can outspeed Max Speed Pult, and you can go for like Throat Chop. So here's the thing about Pheromosa. It got close combat. So you don't have to risk missing a high jump kick. Also, you don't have to risk hitting into protects. The thing about Pheromosa is it's great. You know, you have access to bug type moves, so you're gonna hit very hard if you max. I don't think Pheromosa will be a good max mon because it's just so incredibly frail. I mean, so incredibly frail. And it honestly benefits just from having a teammate Dynamax. But it still gets such an odd... Because, okay, I don't know if I'm explaining this the best way. So, let me think. So, you're going to be running a bug type move. That bug type move is probably going to go to base 130 power. So it benefits from max in that way, but your fighting type moves are going to go down in base power, and you're also so dang frail that you're just going to faint from pretty much any hit anyways, or be proc down to Sash. But if you're not running Sash, there's no point in maxing it. Also, like it won't be a good max mon. But here's the thing: this thing gets close combat now. It does. This thing gets close combat now. So that's really good. So it gets Fighting Stab, and I'm pretty sure this thing just one-shots instant, even at -1. Could be wrong, but it probably one-shots instant. It gets Lunge, it gets Leech Life, I think. Oh no, it doesn't, but it gets Lunge to lower attack, so that's going to be very good. It gets Ice Beam, so if you're thinking, oh, this thing Landorus beats it. No, it gets Ice Beam, so you can tech that for Landorus. This thing gets Throat Chop, so you can even hit Dragapult for huge damage, or even Ice Beam, or even like Dusclops. You could hit Dusclops for huge damage. This thing gets so many good moves. And here's the thing: this thing is like put on a Life Orb or Choice Band on this thing, and it's going to hit hard. Do I think Sash is going to be the best set? I think it will be. I don't think so. I just think, I think Sash will be the best set, but Life Orb or Choice Band is going to hit incredibly hard, and Pheromosa, you're going to have to tech for it, because if you're not prepared for this thing will sweep you. So good, like it just has good all-around stats. I mean, it's a glass cannon, and its stats resemble that. And here's the thing about it: you can run special. You can run special if you want. You can go probably like full attack Adamant if you want, or like full attack. Let me think. Full attack Timid, full attack Jolly, and still take an Ice Beam, and that's probably still gonna one-shot a Landorus or come close, just because Pheromosa has a really nice 137 special attack. You know what I mean? All right, next Pokemon. I don't know if Zygarde's legal. I don't think Zygarde is, so I don't want to talk about that. Celesteela. Oh, mother fricker. This thing is going to be scary. Now, I didn't really play much 2017. I only played it really on my school laptop. I only played it on my school laptop at school, and just for fun. I basically just lolled. I just memed. I used Magneton and I memed. But Celesteela, from what I remember, was just incredibly potent. This thing gets Heavy Slam. So, and it's pretty heavy. So it's going to be hitting for a lot of times for base 120 power. Its base stat total is incredibly good defense, just so well balanced. This thing can stall out entire teams, which Leech Seed and Protect. This thing can just take so many super effective hits. This thing can take hits from Tapu Koko. It's just going to be incredibly good. It's going to be a check to the Taboos. Is going to be a check to Tapu Lele. To a certain extent, pretty much Tapu Fini, Tapu Bulu. But here's the thing, you could say, oh, Cortana beats it. Well, what if you just take a flamethrower? Because it gets flamethrowers, so you can take a flamethrower to beat stuff like Ferrothorn could essentially be a counter to this, because Celesteela can't Leech Seed it, and its Heavy Slam is going to be doing nothing, and it will get hurt by Rough Skin. So you can take a flamethrower on this thing, because apparently a Steel type learns a flamethrower. Also, this thing can go special and run Flash Cannon and Air Slash. You imagine like a Leech Seed Air Slash combination, even getting a 30% chance to hit. I'm not going to talk about Celesteela too much, because I think if you were around for VGC in 2017, you knew that this thing just stuck around on the board. It didn't need to exert the most damage. It just stuck around on the board and can Leech Seed and Protect. Not to mention, this thing gets Wide Guard, and I think spread damage moves are going to be incredibly good in the next format. VGC 2021, you're going to see so many spread moves. That's just my take. So for it getting Wide Guard, it's going to be very good. Also, it's immune to ground types, which is really good in this format, because ground types are going to be good. Garchomp's going to be good. So Celesteela is looking to be just incredible. You can run like a leftover set. You can run an Assault Vest set. But it's going to be incredibly good. All right. Cresselia is next. I have a lot of Pokemon to go through. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about all the Pokemon that could be good. And then when we get to some Pokemon like Walrein, I'll just kind of skip over them, give my thoughts real quick. But I want this video to be maybe like 50 minutes long at most, maybe just under an hour, because it is going to take a while to get through this. But Cresselia, I'll look at these base stats: 120, 120, 130. It's thick. This thing is going to be the premier Trick Room Center, or one of the premier Trick Room Centers. I don't think you're going to see Dusclops anymore. At least I don't know. I don't think you'll see it. I don't think you'll see Dusclops anymore, because Cresselia just it gets its own choice of an item. And Cresselia gets stuff like Ice Beam, which is really good. So Cresselia is also a counter. Cresselia is a counter to Landorus, although it takes super effective damage from U-turn, but it's not too much since it's got 120 defense. It just has such solid defenses. It gets Trick Room. It gets Ice Beam. It can run Side Shock for damage. It has Ally Switch. It has Helping Hand, so it gets a lot of the same moves Dusclops has. And look, this thing has 75 special attack. So it's not like it's going to be terrible. I mean, it's not going to be hitting for crazy amounts of damage, but it'll hit for chip damage, kind of like Dusclops. Also, this thing is just a better HP, so it's just going to be probably a better Dusclops. Now, another Trick Room Set is still going to be good is Porygon 2. I think Porygon 2 is still going to be good. It probably will be as good as Cresselia, in my humble opinion. I think these two will be seen pretty frequently. Only thing about Cresselia is you do have that choice of an item, while P2 is basically you're using Eviolite, but P2 gets that nice download ability. Cresselia gets Levitate, and that's only going to be useful for like stuff like Landorus and Garchomps, which yet again both mons run Ice Beam anyway, so you counter those mons anyway, and you can get Trick Room up for relatively free as long as they don't have Taunt. So you're looking pretty good there. Also, P2 gets Recover, while Cresselia does not, I don't believe. So P2 gets Recover, so it's more of a long game mon. So I think P2 actually might still be better than Cresselia. Although I could be wrong. I'm going to adjust the camera here. Hold on. I just don't want to. I knocked over my mic. That probably sounded terrible. Okay. I'm sorry for that sound. That probably sounded terrible. I knocked my mic over. Now I had to adjust the stand because this thing's kind of flimsy. It's a flimsy frick. Well, are we good? I hope so. Oh, no, we're not. Cool. Alright, now we're good. Okay, so, yeah. Cresselia is going to be good, but I think P2 will still be better. That's my take on it. I could be wrong, but that's what I envision. Alright. Just because P2 is just really good. Alright, we're going to be going over all the Taboos. Okay, wait. We still have a while to go. I talked about Cortana a little bit. I'm not really going to talk about Cortana all that much. Like I said, Cortana is going to be extremely good. I mean, it has a middling special defense stat, but that doesn't really matter when you have a base 181 attack stat. This thing also, I mean, at least in previous generations, we got access to Tailwind. This thing's going to be an absolute monster. It's going to hit for just a buttload of damage. It's going to hit for an absolute buttload of damage. This thing has also really good defense as well, so it's going to be able to take on some hits. It's going to be able to take hits as well. This thing, you're going to have a check for this thing. You're going to have a check. It's good against all the Taboos. You could run. I think sets that are going to see play. You're going to see AV almost. I feel like you're going to see AV almost as much as you would see Sash. Sash is going to be good, but I think AV is going to be just as good. But if this thing gets Tailwind, I feel like Sash will be better. But if this thing doesn't get Tailwind, AV is going to be better in my opinion. Cortana is just going to be able to hit so hard. I think it probably one-shots all the Taboos. Yeah, it probably does. It might even one-shot Coco. It might. I'm not so sure. Or come very close to one-shotting Coco. Or you could like fake out Coco and then Leaf Blade, and that probably KOs. But Cortana is just incredibly good. It has potential to just sweep. It's going to be a really good max mom because it gets that power off of its moves. Because before then, you're running what? You're running what for your Steel type move? You're running Smart Strike. Smart Strike is only base 70, which is kind of oof. But if you Dynamax, I think you're going up to either a 120 or 130, which is going to hit incredibly hard. Cortana is going to be a pretty good Dynamax Pokemon if you support it correctly, and it's definitely a Pokemon people are going to have to watch out for. Alright, let's move on. We don't need Dancy. Nihilego. This Pokemon's going to be very good. You do have to be careful. Just okay. Well, look, this thing operates well on Tailwind teams, but this thing also is going to be pretty good. This thing's also going to be pretty good because in Trick Room, because it does get Trick Room, you can run Room Service now. But look at this thing's stat. It has 103 speed, so it's going to be outspeeding a lot of those, like a lot of these legendaries that have 95, 100. It has 127 special attack, really good stabs in Rock and Poison. Poison's going to be hitting fairies basically this thing is going to be a counter to Togekiss. This is going to be a premier Togekiss counter. This is a really good counter to Incineroar. So Nihilego is going to be really good against Togekiss and Incineroar. Some of the Pokemon that are still going to be pretty good, or still going to be really good in my opinion, come VGC 2021. So Nihilego, I think, definitely has a spot in this format. Now, do I think this mon is going to be on every team or on a lot of teams? No. Like I said with Naganadel, I think it's going to be more niche, but I feel like this could see a little bit more use than Naganadel just because that rock typing and being a special attacker with a really good special attack stat is very, very useful. And also being taking resisted damage from fairy type, which is basically a special type, and having a 131 special defense is very, very good. So I would say this mon, it's not going to be niche, but it's not going to be mainstream. You're not going to be seeing a lot, but definitely when you're team building, definitely at least think of this Pokemon. I think it's going to be good against Trick Room, against Ally Switch as well. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't think you would run Ally Switch all that much, but you can run Ally Switch. It gets Clear Smog. It's just good. It's just good. That's what I have to say. It's going to be a good counter to stuff like the Taboos, except Lele, because I think Lele might still one-shot this. But you could run some Spadef investment and probably live in Expanding Forest. Maybe. I don't exactly know. But Nihilego is going to be good against stuff like the Taboos. Nihilego is going to be good against stuff like Togekiss and Incineroar, although it's going to lose to Celestial and Cortana. That's my thoughts on it. Amistar. I'm not really going to talk about Amistar. Yes, it gets Meteor Beam. But let's put it this way: the only system mon that's still going to be not even relevant. Rain's going to be trash in my opinion. Rain is going to be trash. Like I've played Rain. I've gotten to 1795 with Rain. I've won a 91 player tournament, the Mount Silver charity event. I won a 91 player tournament with Rain. Rain's not going to be good. That's just my take. Take it or leave it. But because the Taboos are coming back, basically the best Swift swimmer, Kingdra, is weak to all the Taboos. Can't touch any of the Taboos. Is going to struggle with Cortana. There's a bunch of Tailwind users now. Tornadus is priority Tailwind user, so it's going to struggle against that. Like, it's not going to be good. So what makes you think Amistar is going to be good? Because I don't think Amistar's seen much playing VGC. The fact that it gets Meteor Beam now is not going to make it good. And you can say, well, it gets Shell Smash. Yeah, but you're devoting a lot to that one Pokemon. I don't think Amistar is going to be good. Alright, Stack Attacker. This thing is going to be insane. You know what this thing gets now? This thing gets Body Press. This thing gets Body Press now. This thing gets Body Press. Heavy Slam, also very good. This thing's incredibly heavy. Although you could choose between Heavy Slam or Gyro Ball. I'd still say Gyro Ball in my opinion. But this thing also gets freaking Body Press because Gyro Ball it's got 13 speed, so you can run Gyro Ball. But this thing gets Body Press now. This thing is a really good Trickermon. It's a really good answer to all the Taboos. It's a really good answer to Togekiss. It's a good answer to Incineroar. It's going to be, it could honestly even be a Landorus check to some extent if they already used their max because you have Wide Guard. It's just going to be incredibly good. This thing also gets Trick Room, so it's a really good Trick Room setter as well, and a Trick Room setter in which, unlike Porygon 2 and Cresselia, which, you know, if Porygon 2 gets a special attack boost, you are going to be dealing some good damage, but if you don't, you're dealing some decent damage. But Stack Attacker, it's got base 131 attack, so it's going to be slamming in some huge damage. This thing says Trick Room, slams in those huge Rock Slides, those huge Gyro Balls. This thing's going to hurt. You know, it's one of those Trick Room setters that it will be good because it can deal damage at, you know, even when it sets up Trick Room. And do you think you're one-shotting this thing? I think the only thing that's going to one-shot this thing is maybe, I don't know, like a Choice Band at close combat or like a Landorus Max Quake. Because this thing has base 211 defense. And it's not even slouching on the Spadef either, because it's got base 101. So you can honestly even run like an Assault Vest on this thing. Although I still think one of the best items will be the like Shucka Berry or a Mental Herb. Or honestly don't know. But Stack Attack is going to be incredibly good. That's all I gotta say about it really. Alright, so we're getting into the Taboos. Let's talk about my favorite Taboo first. Unfortunately, I think Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is my favorite Taboo. I haven't used it really in VGC 19. I used it on one team for maybe 2 weeks. But I just design-wise, I love Tapu Bulu. But anyways, this thing's not going to be used much. Because look, I watched That's a Plus One's video on this, and he was looking at basically, you know, yes, we're getting Tapu Bulu, but we already have Tapu Bulu at home. It's kind of sad to see, but we already have this thing at home. Look. This thing has Rillaboom has 30 more base HP. It has 5 less attack. It has 25 less defense. A little less special defense, but it has more speed, and Rillaboom gets Fake Out. Rillaboom gets Fake Out, and Fake Out makes up for its less bulk, I suppose, in the defenses, because it gets Fake Out. Fake Out, one of the best moves in VGC. But Bulu, it does have the nation in that it gets Play Rough, it learned Play Rough, and it still has Aggressive Glide. Although, just because there's going to be an abundance of Steel types to counter the Taboos, I don't think Bulu is going to see play. And yeah, this thing gets, I think, get Close Combat now. I think it's Close Combat now and High Horsepower. But yet again, Rillaboom gets Drain Punch. Rillaboom gets Drain Punch. And Rillaboom gets High Horsepower. I think most of the time, if you're going like, I'll probably use Tapu Bulu in one team or two just because I love Tapu Bulu. But I think, in my opinion, there's not a lot of reason to run Tapu Bulu over Rillaboom. Now, there are going to be some situations in which Tapu Bulu does have the niches that you want. Maybe having that fairy resistance is going to be pretty good. Being able to switch into dark attacks better, and actually being able to counter darks. So, you know, it could be good. It could be good against, I don't know, what dark types are good. I don't freaking know. But Tapu Bulu has its niches over Rillaboom. Just, it also gets Close Combat, so it gets a stronger fighting type move. And this thing, and this thing is pretty good. It gets fairy stat, but I just think Rillaboom is better. All right, Feeny. I was thinking a lot, and honestly, I think Feeny's going to be the best Taboo. You know, like I said, or not like I said, but you know, it's just such a defensive mon. It gets Light Screen, it gets Icy Wind, it gets Moonblast, it gets Scald. You're thinking of all the Pokemon that are going to be good in this format. We're going to have a lot of dragons returning. Slap a Feeny on your team, and you just destroyed the dragons. Garchomp, gone. Salamence, gone. Feeny is going to be busted. Even though we don't have access to the 50% berries like we do anymore, Feeny's going to be absolutely busted. Feeny can take attacks. It's just such a good teammate. Misty Search is also good because Amoonguss is going to be, I think Amoonguss is going to be pretty good as well. So Feeny counters Amoonguss. It can counter certain strategies like a Will-O-Wisp. They can't Will-O-Wisp. They can't Thunder Wave. I don't think they can. Yeah, they can't Will-O-Wisp, they can't Thunder Wave, they can't Spore. It's just going to be good. It's going to be good. It's just going to be a good balanced Pokemon, I think. It's not going to hit extremely hard. I mean, 95 special attack, like you could see Calm Mind variants, definitely. But I don't know if you'll see Light Screen variants anymore. But it's just going to be good. You can see like a Skull and Moonblast, Calm Mind, Protect, like leftover set or something, or Berry. But this mon's going to be good, trust me. I think this is going to be the best Tapu. Let's talk about Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko is going to be very good because it gets Rising Voltage. It's one of the fastest Pokemon. If you don't know what Rising Voltage is, just look it up. This video is going to be pretty long anyways, so I don't think I have time to explain it. But essentially it becomes base 140 power under terrain, if grounded, if target is grounded. It also gained a lot of good moves this generation, close combat, whatnot. I think Tapu Koko is going to be good because it can deal with stuff like Celesteela, and it's going to be one of the fastest Pokemon in the metagame. And it can also deal with stuff like Cortana, because it can just hit Cortana pretty hard with its special attack. Like Rising Voltage, if not vested, will probably one-shot Cortana if Sash is broken. So honestly, I think Koko's going to be really good. But we're going to talk about the best Tapu here, and that's a Lele. Now this thing gets one move and one move only. Expanding Force. Doubles power in psychic terrain. This move is going to be absolutely busted. This Tapu Lele is going to be the best Tapu in my opinion. Correction. Tapu Lele is going to start off as the best Tapu, I think. Tapu Lele, you know, its sheer damage output is going to be absolutely insane, but I think after a while people will just develop strategies and ways around that. I mean, you could run Wide Guard, Tekken Incineroar, and you're good to go. I mean, you know, I'm not going to talk about Tapu Lele all that much, but it just has massive attack. Alright, Master Special Attack. It's going to be very good. I'm scrolling through here, and we have quite a few mons to go through. Holy crap. Man, we have some mons to go through. I don't know if I want... Alright. Thundurus is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be really good, but it's going to be good. It gets Prankster, Thunder Wave. But that got nerfed a lot because ground types are immune now, dark types are immune now. So I think this thing is going to be niche, if anything. Yes, this thing gets Defiant, so I think Defiant Thundurus will probably be used more than Prankster. I think that's certain for me. But this thing does get Taunt as well, so you can still use it. But yet again, if you're going to be using one of the two, I think like this thing gets Superpower, and we're going to talk about Tornadus here as well. I think Tornadus is the better Prankster user. If you're going to go for Prankster out of the two, you're going to use Tornadus because this thing gets Prankster Tailwind, this thing gets Prankster Taunt, and it can even be it gets Superpower. It can be a Defiant user as well, so you can probably run like an Expert Belt variant and run some attack investment. I mean, I remember. Hold on, let me look this up. You can probably run like an Expert Belt variant and probably like some attack, and you might be able to get close to one-shotting Incineroar. I'm not exactly so sure though, but yeah, it's just going to be good. Like it's going to be good, but not that good. Actually, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Tornadus or Prankster is going to be very good. I think it's going to be one of the best ones in the format. Thundurus, however, I think is going to be pretty niche. I think I think Thundurus is just going to be mainly used as a Defiant Mon. Tornadus will be mainly used as a Prankster Mon. But you have to look at their team. If you look at their team and you see that they already have another potential Tailwind user, then maybe think to yourself, it might be Defiant. It just depends on the team composition. And that's, that's why team preview is going to be extremely important come VGC 2021. But I'm done talking about these two. Like, this video is going to be extremely long, so I want to go through the rest pretty quickly. Unviable Absol. I'm not really going to talk about Absol. It's never really been good in VGC. It's not going to be good now. Aerodactyl. Against the Wing Beat, it might get Tailwind, but this thing's not going to be good. Aggron. It's got too many weaknesses. Aggron's pretty much the worst. Aggron is pretty much. Hold on. Look at this. Aggron is a worse stack attacker. Oh, not Stantler. Aggron is a worse stack attacker, I think, in every way. Yeah, wait, it actually is, isn't it? Look at this. Aggron is a worse stack attack in every way other than HP. So, no. Aggron is not going to be good. Altaria, it's a Cloud9 user. So, another Cloud9 user is coming back, but I just don't think... I think the only weather... Okay, there are only going to be two weathers that are going to be good, in my humble opinion. Sun and Sand. I think Sun and Sand are still going to be very good. I think Venusaur Torkoal is still going to be good. I think T-Tar Excadrill is still going to be very good. I don't think Rain is going to be good at all. So I get, like, maybe you could, but I just don't think it has such a niche purpose. And also, I almost lost to this in the IC. Run this Mon with Eviolite. Run this and max out his defense. This thing is surprisingly bulky with an Eviolite. Like this Mon, and it gets Cloud9. So like, run an Eviolite Mon. Don't run Altaria. Like Altaria is not gonna be good. It's, it doesn't excel in any of its stats really. I mean, you can say Spadaf, but it's just not gonna be good. Like I'd run Lickitung over that. But anyways, Armaldo, it's not gonna be good. Like I said, I like Armaldo, and I could see maybe like some trick and weakness policy stuff, but that'd be the only thing that I could see maybe doing well. But yet again, this thing's not going to be good on Rain, just because this thing is going to be just fast enough on Rain, but not really fast enough. Like, it'll be fast enough to outspeed a lot of stuff with that, if your opponent doesn't set Tailwind, but if they do, you're going to be outsped. And you're pretty much going to have to max this thing if you want to do anything. But if you max it, your Rockfall is going to be getting rid of the Rain anyways. It's not going to be good. Articuno, I don't think Articuno is going to be good. It's really never been good in VGC. And the fact that I think that spread moves are going to be good, and I think that Sand's going to be good, pretty much makes this thing useless. Also, it doesn't really excel in that much. It's just one of those mons that kind of just sits there and chips away at stuff, and can like take some hits depending on the mon, but it just doesn't really excel in doing anything. And the moves that it gets, like, okay, it gets Air Slash, which is cool, but I don't know. I just don't see it being good. Audino, it gets Trick Room, so that's something. But yet again, there are just so many better Trick Room users. Like, yeah, it has good stats for a Trick Room user, but there's so many better Trick Room users. Unless you're a fan of Audino, don't use it. Azelf, Aurorus, okay, this month's Hail's not going to be good. I don't think Hail's going to be good at all. So I don't really see a reason to use Aurorus other than if you like it. Azelf, I think this mon could be good. It's just that I think this mon could be good because it gets a lot of coverage. It was, I think, it like Fire Punch or something. Yeah. But yet again, like, okay, here's the thing. I think this mon could be good, but because you can only bring 4 Pokemon in VGC, like, this thing's not going to be the best. Like, you could see some people trying to experiment with it, but I just don't see this mon ever getting results, really, or like significant results. Maybe 1 or 2 people will use it to some success, but I don't know what it is about it, but it's just, I don't think it'll be good. Like, yeah, it's somewhat frail as well, And here's the thing, it has good offensive stats, but just not good enough. And the fact is that it has a great move pool, but it's only stab and psychic. Now it gets Trick Room, but yet again it's base 115. I don't know, just doesn't seem good. Blaziken. Alright, so this thing's going to be pretty good. A Scarf Set's going to be good. Like you can run like a Tailwind, Prankster Tailwind with it. Specs is going to be good. This thing just will hit extremely hard. It's going to be a good counter. It's like I don't even know. Like I don't even know what it's going to be good against. But it's just going to be good. It's going to hit hard. Do I think it's going to be amazing though? Not really. I don't think it is, because here's the thing. This thing's so frail that you want to run Sash. But if you run Sash, you're probably running Jolly. Or you're probably running Timid, but that means you lose out on some of the special attack. And then this thing doesn't hit as hard as you would like. But if you run Specs, you're going to hit much harder and probably more like desired damage output. But then again, you lose on that defensive front that you have with the Sash. I just don't think this mon will be as good as people think it is. Buzzwole. I think this mon is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be amazing, but I think this is going to be a good sort of or sort of just weird niche pick. Now, it's pretty much just a worse Pheromosa, but it could be better on Trick Room teams. I think this thing could be alright on Trick Room teams. I don't think it's going to be great. But I think this Pokemon could be niche. It gets Drain Punch. It has good defense as well. It's kind of like it's pretty much kind of like a Cortana, just slow. And has good HP. But like, I think it's decent. It has a good move pool, guys. Excuse me. It gets moves like Ice Punch, Poison Jab. So like, it can do bits. I just don't think it'll be good just because Taboos exists, because Celesteela exists. Also, Pheromosa exists. But I don't think it's unusable. I think you can use it, but it's not. There are better options. At number one, this thing's not slow enough to be used on Trick Room, but it's not fast enough to really utilize Talon to its success. It just has that really weird speed stat. Number two, Pheromosa exists. Alright. Carbink, that thing's not going to be good. Caracosta, it gets Shell Smash, but outside of that, I don't think it's going to be good. Creedilly, okay. Maybe. I'm not saying this thing's going to be viable at all, but Storm Drain is a good ability, but I think it's just going to be a worse Gastrodon, if you ask me. Crowbat. I think Crowbat's going to be good. If Crowbat gets Tailwind, this mon is going to be good. It was good in 2019 because like it gets base 130 speed and it gets Inner Focus. So it can't be flinched by Fake Out. So you pretty much get a guaranteed Tailwind off unless like they taunt you. But then you could run like a Mental Herb set if you really wanted to. This also could be a really good Life Orb set. You know, you get your Tailwind, but then you go like kind of like a set like this. You go like a set like this. You go a set like this and be max attack, because if you're maxing out the attack and you have a Life Orb, it's gonna hit hard with like a Brave Bird or a Cross Poison. I don't know if it gets Poison Jab, but it gets Cross Poison. I mean, that's decent, I suppose. But like, you know, it'll be good. It'll be good. I think this Pokemon is going to be good. Great Tailwind mon, pretty good typing, good switch into Landorus. A great Tailwind user. I don't think it'll be as good as people think, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll be usable, let's put it that way. Cryogonal, this thing's not going to be good. Dragonite, people are excited for Dragonite. I don't think Dragonite's going to be good. Let's put it this way. Here's the thing about Dragonite. A lot of people are like, oh, it gets multi-scale, so that's really cool. So, oh, you know, it's going to be a really good weakness policy mod. Here's the thing. Dragonite, if you're activating its weakness policy, you're breaking its multi-scale. And if you're running Inner Focus, you're not running multi-scale, which you want to run multi-scale. See what I mean? Also, the Taboos exist. Taboos are going to be extremely good against this thing. Yeah, you can run like a weakness policy set and Dynamax it, but if you intimidate this mon, which are going to be some, like, you're going to see Incineroar, and the Incineroar can take some hits and then go for like Parting Shot. So Incineroar is going to be good, and all the other, you know, Incineroar is going to be good. Taboos are going to be good against this thing, but think about it. This mon's not going to be that good, because the other returning mons are Salamence and Garchomp outspeed this thing in base speed, and they get a super effective attack off. All you need to do is break this thing's multi-scale if it has it, and you're going to be dealing massive damage to it. You could maybe run like an AV set, but yet again, if you're running AV, I just don't think this mon is going to be as good as people think it is. Do I think it's going to be viable? Yes. Do I think it's going to, or do I think it could be usable? Yes. But do I think it's going to be good or meta defining? No. Let's talk about Electivire here. I don't think Electivire is going to be good. It's just, it's not fast enough. Like 95's good, but it just doesn't have the defenses, and it doesn't even have the means of offense to do anything. So I'm not gonna cover him. Entei's going to be good in my opinion. Entei's going to be good. Reason why Entei's good. Choice Band is going to be extremely powerful. Like a Choice Band, Sacred Fire is going to hurt. Also, this thing gets Will-O-Wisp, so it's pretty. It'll pretty much be. It won't be really a replacement for Arcanine, but it'll be an Arcanine contender because this thing's fast. It gets Will-O-Wisp. This thing gets Snarl. This thing gets even Extreme Speed, it gets Flare Blitz, it gets Heat Wave, you know, if you want to get around, wait, what is Arcanine's base speed anyways? So this is faster than Arcanine. This is faster than Arcanine, but Heat Wave if you want to get around Follow Me's. I don't know what else this thing gets that's going to be good. This thing gets Quash for some damn reason, so you could run that if you really want. It gets Sunny Day. So it's just going to be, in my opinion, maybe a slightly better Arcanine in some ways and slightly worse Arcanine in other ways. I think Entei is going to be pretty good. Sacred Fire having a 50% chance to burn is going to be pretty good. I think you will be seeing some Entei. Alright, Garchomp. Garchomp's going to be good because Garchomp gets the ground typing. Ground typing is going to be, not Mega. Ground typing is pretty good in this meta. It's going to be a good, nice counter to something. I mean, you can run like AV and then counter. Okay, I don't really know like how good this mon's going to be, but it's just going to be good in my opinion. It's just going to be good. I can't really describe it. It doesn't really get. I haven't gone over the moves it gets. Let's go over what moves Dragonite gets. Okay, Dragonite gets Hydro Pump, so that's cool. It gets Air Slash, and it gets Body Press, but you know, nothing crazy. Entei gets Helping Hand, which is pretty good. And it gets Flare Blitz, which is previously event only. Garchomp kind of gets the short end of the stick. It gets Breaking Spike, which is fine, I suppose, but doesn't really get anything good. But it just has really good stats. It was good in 2017. It's just a really good mon that can just soak up hits and deal a lot of damage. You can run like a defensive rough skin. You could run like even an AV set if you want. You can run an offensive set. I mean, there's probably going to be like a million Garchomp sets, and each and every one of them are going to be pretty good. Guzzler's not going to be good. 4 times weakness to Fairy when all 4 Taboos are coming back, plus Togekiss. I just get Wide Guard though, so maybe. But yet again, this thing doesn't have like, yeah, it has really good HP, but it's not going to have the means of offense to make anything of it. Heatran. Heatran's gonna be good. I think Heatran's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna be great. I don't think it's gonna be amazing, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna do the same things it's always did. It can go for like Flash Skin. It gets Earth Power. It's gonna be good against the Taboos. Let's put it that way. It's gonna be good against Cortana. It's got a good defensive stat. It's just gonna be good. Jinxed, I don't really see being used. It's too frail. Kabutops, yet again, I talked about how Rain. I don't think Kindra's gonna be used. Kindra's already the best system user. Even if Kabutops is introduced, Kindra's better. Has a better bulk, better typing in my opinion. Since you don't, when you max it, you don't counter out. Or, yeah. Since you don't basically get rid of your own Rain. Kabutops isn't going to be good. Let's check, how much more do we have to go? Oh my god, dude. This is a lot. This is a lot to talk about. Alright, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to end this. I'm just going to end this off here. And then we're going to pick up tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to pick up, I think, tomorrow with the rest of the vid. And we're going to talk about the rest of the Pokemon and whether they're going to be good or not. Just because I think towards the end, you can probably tell I'm getting a little tired and a little, I'm kind of rushing through this. So I do want to take my time with each and every one of them. Like, I'm not gonna seriously go over whether Jinx can be good or not, because Jinx was niche at best. I think it got 1 placement in 2019 just because it gets dry skin. But since there's no Kyogre, Jinx isn't gonna do anything. I mean, someone could prove me wrong, but I'm almost sure it's not gonna do much. But yeah, I'm going to end this. I'm just going to end this off here. So this is going to be part 1 of analyzing the Crown Tundra Pokemon. And then we're going to make a part 2 going over everything. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, smash the like button down below. And please subscribe for more future content. But anyways, guys, I'm Lead. And I'll see you all later.